I didn't catch her in the act. I caught her in the silence. It started with small things, the kind of shifts you don't notice until they've already widened into chasms. Seraphine used to hum while brushing her teeth. She used to fall asleep mid-sentence, curl toward me. Now, she closed doors when she got ready, even when I wasn't watching. Her laughter changed. Shorter, sharper, as if it was being saved for someone else. And her phone, always face dashed down. At first, I told myself it was work stress. She was an interior designer, clients texting at odd hours, projects going sideways. But the lies were too neat, too rehearsed. That was just Lorna asking about color palettes. I'm staying late, the meeting's running over, my battery died. No one lies that smoothly unless they've practiced. I didn't confront her. I didn't rage. That's not who I am. I'm not built for explosions. I'm built for pressure, the kind that holds steady, then moves with intention. So I watched. I made small adjustments to our home network. She wouldn't know. I bought a pair of discreet security cameras, the kind people use to keep an eye on their dogs. I didn't even need them to be hidden. I just needed them to be quiet. One above the side door, one in the hallway. One in the living room, tucked between the books on the shelf. I told her I was picking up extra shifts. She barely blinked. It hurt more than I expected. For weeks, I let it play out. I'd leave at 6, come back after midnight. Except I never really left. I parked a street over and streamed the footage live. The first few nights were quiet. She'd watch TV, text with someone, always with that faint smile. Never for me. Then, one Thursday, she dimmed the lights. At 8:17 p.m., the side door opened. A man, tall, dark coat, baseball cap, walked in like he'd done it 100 times. She didn't act surprised. She greeted him with a kiss. The kind of kiss that's muscle memory. I didn't flinch. I didn't cry. I watched. They moved through the hallway. His hand brushed the small of her back. She laughed. That laugh again. It wasn't just an affair. It was routine, practiced, casual, the kind of betrayal that doesn't even bother hiding anymore. That night, I poured a glass of water, sat down at the dining table, and wrote her name on a piece of paper. Not a list, not a threat, just her name. Then I underlined it once, slowly, and wrote, "Final day, coming soon." There's a certain stillness that comes after heartbreak when the grief burns itself out and what's left is just clarity. That's where I live now, in that space. Each night, I watched them, not because I needed more proof. I already had it, but because something inside me needed to understand the depth of it. The frequency, the ease with which she lied and moved through our house like it wasn't stained with everything she was hiding. The man came back regularly, Tuesdays and Thursdays, mostly, once on a Sunday afternoon. While I was supposedly golfing with coworkers, she always waited a few minutes after I left before opening the side door. Sometimes he brought wine, sometimes takeout. Once, I watched her bake for him something she hadn't done for me in months. They laughed like they were in some movie, touched like teenagers. Once, on the hallway camera, she said something that still echoes. "He's so easy to lie to." I paused the video, rewound it, played it again. Her voice, her words, her tone, casual, almost bored. That was the moment I stopped loving her. I didn't feel hate. I didn't feel anything. Just a cold, clean line separating who she was from who I thought she'd been. So I got to work. I printed photo still frames from the videos. A hand on her waist. A kiss in the doorway. Her on the couch, laughing, wrapped in a blanket he'd brought. All time-stamped. All real. I bought a digital photo frame and loaded a sequence of their moments on loop. I set up a live stream feed that could be activated remotely, connected to the hallway camera. I even left the router running in guest mode so there'd be no hiccups. Then I recorded the message. My voice was calm and shaken. "Just the facts. You're being recorded. You've been recorded for weeks. I know everything. The footage is backed up to cloud storage and with my lawyer. This isn't about a fight. It's about truth." I played it back for times, not to admire it, just to make sure it sounded exactly how I felt. Empty. On Monday night, I laid the trap. I left for work, circled the block, and parked where I had a clear view of the house. He arrived right on time. 8:03 p.m. She met him at the door in that robe she used to wear for me. He kissed her neck. She smiled, and I smiled too. Not out of revenge, but out of relief. It was almost over. The night air was still. I sat in the car, engine off, watching as shadows danced behind the curtains of my own home, my house, my furniture, my wife, and the man she thought I'd never know about. They moved through the living room like it belonged to them. Her robe slid off her shoulder. His hand found the small of her back again. Just like always, he didn't look nervous. That told me everything I needed to know. This wasn't a new thing. He was comfortable here, embedded. They kissed again before she led him toward the hallway. And that's when I knew it was time. The living room light flicked on, not by her hand, but by the smart timer I'd set. She paused. He looked confused. Then they both froze, because the wall in front of them was no longer blank. It was covered in dozens of photos, each one from a different night, printed, framed, ranged like a gallery of guilt. Still shots of every quiet betrayal, every lie, every moment they thought when unnoticed. At the center of the wall was the digital photo frame, cycling through clips. Her laughter, his touch, her robe, his shoes at the door. And beneath it, a speaker. She stepped closer, her mouth slightly open. The man looked around, suddenly realizing they were on display. Then the recording began to play. You've been watched. For weeks. Every moment, every lie. The footage you're seeing is backed up. It's been sent to my lawyer. This isn't an argument. It's documentation. You lied in my home. You brought him into my space. Now you'll live with the truth. My voice echoed through the house. Steady. Not bitter. Not broken. Just clear. They didn't move. She looked pale. He looked furious. Not guilty. Just caught. She turned toward the front door as if to check if I was home. I let her sit in that fear. Let it simmer. Then, after a full minute, I stepped out of the car and walked up the driveway. I didn't rush. I didn't hesitate. I walked like I owned every inch of that house, because I did. Every wall, every floorboard, every damn moment in that living room belonged to me. I opened the door slowly. They were still standing there, framed by their own betrayal. He opened his mouth. She stepped forward, eyes wide, tears already forming. But I raised a hand. Don't. Just one word. It was enough to silence them both. I looked him in the eye. You have 2 minutes to leave. I suggest you use them. He glanced at her like he was expecting some kind of backup. She said nothing. Her mouth trembled, but her lips didn't move. So he laughed. No excuses. No apology. Just grabbed his jacket and walked past me with the swagger of a man who'd been punched in the soul. And when the door clicked shut behind him, she broke. The moment the door closed behind him, she fell apart. Please, she whispered, as if that one word could reach back through time and stitch everything together again. I didn't move. I didn't speak. She stepped toward me. I don't know why She choked on her own lie before it could finish forming. It didn't mean anything. I was lonely, I thought. Stop, I said quietly. Her face twisted into something I'd never seen before. Not guilt, not sadness, but desperation. You're everything. I swear, it was a mistake. Just a stupid. Selfish. Selfish is the only honest word you've said. I cut in. She reached for my hand, and I stepped back. Her tears came hard then. That broken sob that used to mean something to me. But now I saw it for what it was. Damage control. I never wanted to hurt you, she cried. But you did, I said, repeatedly, comfortably, in my house, in our bed, with no hesitation. Her knees buckled slightly, and she slumped onto the edge of the couch, the same one I saw them on in the recordings. I'll do anything, she gasped. Therapy, counseling, please. You don't have to throw everything away. I pulled the envelope from my coat pocket and placed it on the coffee table beside her. She looked at it like it was a loaded gun. What is this? She asked, her voice shaking. Your truth, I said. Divorce papers. My lawyer's card. Instructions for the lawyer representing you are already in the packet. I'm not dragging this out. Her shoulders collapsed inward, like the weight of the betrayal had finally landed on her. Too late. She covered her mouth, trembling. You're really leaving? I already left, I said, turning away. I walked toward the door. She followed, pleading, voice rising in panic. At the edge of the driveway, she called my name one last time. Not like a lover, but like someone watching a door close behind them forever. I didn't turn around. I got in the car, closed the door, started the engine. And as I drove away, I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel loss. I felt clean. Months passed. She tried contacting me a few times through mutual friends, vague emails, even one pathetic letter. I didn't respond. There was no point. She wasn't confused. She wasn't weak. She was selfish. And I had spent years believing that loyalty could fix that. I was wrong. Now, I sleep peacefully. I eat alone. I come home to silence. And I cherish every second of it. That people think revenge is about destruction. But sometimes the quietest exit leaves the loudest echo. I didn't raise my voice. I just walked away. And she has to live with the sound of that silence for the rest of her life.